So much emotion, so much wrong to be righted, and so much courage. In my speech today, I would like to acknowledge, honour and thank all those responsible for this Royal Commission, its exception, its operation, its administration and the delivery of this report. And I'd particularly like, as many of my colleagues have done, is to call out and to acknowledge the role of CLAN, Care Leavers Australasia Network. I'd also like to shine some light on the impact on this Royal Commission in my electorate of Indi, to focus on redress, which we've been hearing about to now, to say the job's not finished, that there's still more work to be done, and to talk about one particular model that's been undertaken by the Victorian Women's Trust in this area. And in conclusion, I'd like to offer my personal apology to the people of Indi and to those who have been hurt and have suffered pain because of the work of the churches and the institutions that we are all responsible for. So, with that beginning, I'd like to really start by saying about the Care Leavers Australasia Network, and to those in my electorate, but particularly to Rhonda, to you and your team. As you have done with many members of Parliament, you came and saw us, you raised the issue, you made sure that we understood how important it was. And then you kept us informed all the way through the Royal Commission and made sure that we knew what was going on. And it's hard to find words to capture my admiration, but courage, resilience, persistence, empathy, tolerance, more courage and patience. And one of the things that Rhonda has done in knowing that we were making a speech today, she's asked me to read this into Hansard. It's a letter to Dear My Federal Politician. And the heading is Stop Taxing the Poorest of Abuse Victims. And it says, I'm a member of CLAN and I am placed in an orphanage, children's home, foster care mission, and I was placed, and I am writing to you to seek your support to make representations on my behalf to the Prime Minister of all Australians, Malcolm Turnbull, CLAN patron. The National Redress scheme is due to commence on the 1st of July, and whilst we commend the Liberal government for introducing national redress for those abused in orphanages, children's homes, missions and foster care, however, there are many care leavers who will be extremely disadvantaged, angry and hurt on the 1st of July because they were not sexually used or abused in an orphanage, children's home, mission, foster care, but suffered great cruelty and brutal physical and psychological damage as children. These care leavers, who have received as little as $2,000 redress from the Queensland, Western Australian and Tasmanian government's redress schemes, will now be taxed on those payments at 1.9%. This is like robbing the poorest of abuse victims, the government's children. None of these care leavers ever expected that government to tax those paltry amounts decades later. The Prime Minister plans on issuing an apology on behalf of the nation. This will be a hollow apology when so many care leavers will be excluded and re-abused and re-traumatised by this unjust redress scheme. So we're not quite done yet. The second area that I'd really like to talk a little bit about is the impact on my electorate of this horrendous activity that's taken place in Australia. We've heard the figures from the Royal Commission about the size of the problem, but the bit that I'd like to concentrate on, again so sadly, is the Catholic Church and the Sandhurst Diocese. The Sandhurst Diocese is based in Bendigo, in Victoria, covers most of Indi and also includes the electorates of Indi, Murray and Bendigo. And I'm reading from the Bendigo Advertiser, the 6th of February 2007, and the Sandhurst Diocese has the second highest rate of priests abused of child sexual assault out of Australia's 17 Catholic dioceses during a 60-year period. Figures released from the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse shows that almost 15% of priests who ministered in the Sandhurst Diocese between 1950 and 2010 were accused of child sexual